The most beautiful tiaras of European monarchs. The emerald tiara of the Queen of Norway, one of the favorite tiaras of the Norwegian Queen Sonja. The elegant decoration was once given by Napoleon to his first wife, Josephine. The Bapst jewelry house made the tiara from white gold and silver, diamonds and emeralds. Josephine's tiara came to the Norwegian rulers in 1937 after a long journey through Europe. How she got into the family: Empress Josephine of France, son Eugene Beauharnais, daughter of Josephine, Queen of Sweden and Norway, son King Oscar II, son Charles of Sweden, Duke of Westergateland, daughter Princess Martha of Sweden, King Harold, Queen Sophia, consort of King Oscar, in the family since 1937. Aquamarine Kokoshnik, an aquamarine tiara that came to the Bernadotte dynasty along with the British heritage of Margaret of Connaught. Kokoshnik is not included in the family fund. Its owner is the sister of the King of Sweden, Princess Margaret, who received it as a wedding gift from her parents. The princess married a common man and went to the UK. Princess Madeline often appears in this tiara, even in her official portrait, but the tiara does not belong to her. The Aquamarine Tiara is a classic tiara made in the style of British royal jewelry. It is made of aquamarines and diamonds and has the shape of a palmette. The Russian tiara, created by the French jewelry house Cartier, is also called La Russa. Its first owner was Queen Maria Cristina of Austria of Spain. The tiara is made in the shape of a cocoon and decorated with diamonds, pearls, and platinum. In English it is called loup, that is curl, but the Spaniards themselves prefer another name, La Russa, or Russian tiara, for the characteristic shape of the kokoshnik. Its first owner was Queen Maria Cristina of Austria, who then gave this tiara to her son's wife, Victoria Eugenia. But she refused to wear it, as a result of which the decoration went to the family of her son, the Count of Barcelona, the father of the future monarch Juan Carlos. However, until the end of the 20th century, the Russian tiara was not owned by the king, but mainly by his sister Pilar, finally passing to the monarchs only in the 2000s. The Danish ruby tiara is an ancient ruby tiara belonging to the Danish royal family. It was created for Désirée Clary, the former bride of Napoleon Bonaparte, and passed to the current owners through the Swedish and Danish royal families. The tiara is decorated with diamonds and rubies and has a central element in the form of a peacock, which can be worn separately as a brooch. The tiara was created for Désirée Clary, Napoleon's former fiancée, but she married his confidant Jean Bernadotte, King of Sweden and Norway, and founder of the Jean-Baptiste Jules Bernadotte dynasty. For the first time, a ruby parure was worn by Désirée Clary on the day of the coronation of Napoleon Bonaparte in 1804. A lover of luxurious jewelry, Frenchwoman Désirée Clary was preparing for the coronation of Napoleon Bonaparte. The year was 1804. When the fashionista opened another box, her gaze automatically stopped at the diamonds shining like mirror fragments, those that were interspersed with wine-red rubies. "Yes, it is these stones that will emphasize my beauty," thought Désirée, when memory suddenly plunged her into the romantic times of her bygone youth. How ardent and passionate he was, the Napoleon who declared his love to her on warm evenings. Yes, the Corsican with steel-colored eyes charmed the girl in the blink of an eye, and he promised to marry her without fail. But apparently, fate had completely different plans. The Seashell Tiara was created by the French jewelry house Millerio Ditz Miller by order of Queen Isabella II of Spain. It is a gift from the Queen to her eldest daughter Infanta Isabella on her wedding day. The tiara is made in the shape of a seashell made of platinum, diamonds, and pearls. The pearls sway slightly as they are not fixed rigidly. The tiara can be worn with a diamond drop suspended from the center of the base. Whether it's sea waves or a few shells, the outlandish tiara from the French house Millerio was made by order of Isabella II for her eldest daughter in the late 1860s. Since then, this decoration has not left the Spanish royal family. Princess Sophia of Greece received this tiara as a wedding gift and loved it so much that she practically did not part with it. Once, Princess Letizia also put on the shell, but apparently it was Sophia who forever captured the heart of this decoration. Imperial Tiara. The Imperial Tiara of the Royal House of Luxembourg since 1829. Only Grand Duchesses wear a luxurious tiara. The diamond tiara of the Luxembourg Empire Tiara, has been owned by the royal family since 1829. It is noteworthy that it is worn exclusively by Grand Duchesses. Grand Duchess Charlotte wore an imperial tiara at her wedding in 1919, and at her abdication in 1964. Grand Duchess Josephine Charlotte wore jewelry during official visits abroad, and the current Grand Duchess Maria Theresa appeared in a tiara at the wedding of crowned Swedish Princess Victoria in 2010. The tiara consists of a huge number of empire-style diamonds. The origin is not exactly known. There are two versions. The tiara is of Russian origin. Its first owner was Grand Duchess Elizabeth Mikhailovna, granddaughter of Emperor Paul I. Elizabeth Mikhailovna was the first wife of Duke Adolf of Nassau, the future Grand Duke of Luxembourg. After the death of his first wife, the Duke bought back a number of valuable jewelry. So this tiara got into the collection of Orange Nassau. This tiara was first publicly worn by Grand Duchess Charlotte when she married Prince Felix of Bourbon-Parma in 1919. Then Charlotte's sister, Princess Hilda, also wore this tiara to her wedding. Charlotte continued to wear the tiara at important events during her reign until the day she abdicated in favor of her son Jean. She then handed the tiara to Josephine's sister-in-law, Charlotte, the new Duchess. Jean abdicated in favor of his son Henri in 2001, but Josephine Charlotte did not want to give the tiara to her daughter-in-law, Maria Theresa. Grand Duchess Maria Theresa was able to wear the tiara in public only after the death of Josephine Charlotte. Maria Theresa wears a tiara to special events. She first wore it during state visits to Belgium and the Netherlands. In addition to the fact that these countries have joined the Benelux Economic Union, they are also relatives. King Albert of Belgium is the uncle of Grand Duke Henri, and Queen Beatrix and the Grand Duke are members of the House of Nassau. The Prussian tiara. It was with this tiara that Letizia began her beautiful relationship with royal tiaras. In it, following the example of her mother-in-law, she went down the aisle with Prince Felipe. Do not be confused by Greek motifs. The history of this decoration begins in Prussia with the wedding of the daughter of the German Emperor Wilhelm II. Victoria Louise, the first owner of the tiara, however, soon found a use for the Greek type of tiara, handing it over to her daughter Frederica, the future Queen of Greece. Frederica in the end gave the jewelry to her daughter Sophia, from whom the tiara passed to Letizia. The Prussian tiara is a shiny diamond tiara that belongs to the Spanish royal family. The jewel is decorated with a pattern with Greek motifs and details of a bay leaf, and in the middle there is a stone in the form of a teardrop. The decoration was originally created for Princess Victoria Louise of Prussia for her wedding in 1913 to Prince Ernst August of Brunswick. The tiara passed into the hands of the Spanish royal family when the Prussian Princess Sophia of Greece married the Spanish King Juan Carlos in 1962. The Malario Ruby Tiara is an antique ruby tiara made by Malario jeweler Dietzmeller for Queen Emma in 1889. The tiara has a classic shape with rows of diamonds suspended between large elements. The collection of Dutch royal jewels is so extensive that it includes not one but two iconic ruby tiaras. The oldest ruby tiara was made by Malario Dismeller for Queen Emma in 1889. The product has a classic shape with rows of diamonds suspended between larger elements. This shape goes well with both Princess Beatrix's retro hairstyle and Maxima's smoother hairstyles. She even chose this ruby tiara for her first official portrait as queen. Today, the tiara is one of Queen Maxima's favorite jewels. She chose this tiara for her first official portrait. The Oriental crown of Queen Victoria is an iconic tiara created for Queen Victoria by Prince Albert. The decoration is made in Oriental style and decorated with lotus flowers. The crown is inspired by Indian design and was created after the prince consort saw similar jewels at the Great Exhibition of 1851. The tiara was originally decorated with opals, but Queen Alexandra replaced them with a set of Burmese rubies from the royal collection. It has become one of the Queen Mother's most beloved tiaras. The Oriental-style crown is one of the iconic tiaras created for Queen Victoria by Prince Albert. See also, the most impressive jewelry from the collection of Queen Victoria. The lotus flower decoration is inspired by Indian design and was invented by the prince consort after he saw jewelry with similar motifs at the Great Exhibition of 1851. The tiara was originally decorated with opals, but Queen Alexandra replaced them with a set of Burmese rubies from the royal collection. It has become one of the Queen Mother's most beloved tiaras. After her death, Queen Elizabeth II only wore this piece of jewelry in public once. The ruby tiara of Niarchos. This laconic decoration belongs to the Spanish Queen Sofia, the wife of the former King of Spain, Juan Carlos I. The tiara was worn in two forms, with one thread of rubies and diamonds, decorated with gold and placed on the frame, as well as with two threads stacked on top of each other. The ruby jewelry, created by the jewelry house Van Cleef and Arpels, was presented to Princess Sophia in 1962 by Stavros Niarchos, a famous Greek shipping magnate who presented the jewelry as a wedding gift.